Animo is by far one of the strongest elements in the game, and in my opinion, the most fun element to play. I enjoy how fun Animo characters are because their gameplay are just so smooth. With 3.7 being announced, Kazuha has been revealed to get his second rerun alongside Uemiya, Yamiko, and Alhaitham. We'll go over the other characters another time, but today let's talk about why Kazuha is one of the best, if not the most broken support characters of all time. Remember to sub and like if you enjoyed, because it would really help the algorithm know that this channel exists. Thanks guys, I really appreciate it. Let's start with the obvious. Overall, Kazuha is the best Viridescent user in the entire game, hands down. If you didn't know, the 4-piece Viridescent set is one of the best in the entire game, because its effect is one of the very few ways to reduce elemental resistance whenever you swirl a specific element by 40%. This is a very large increase in damage all by itself, but it gets even better. There are a few reasons why Kazuha is the best Viridescent user over everyone else. The main reason behind this is that almost his entire kit revolves around swirl reactions. You want to invest into mainly EM for Kazuha. His second Ascension passive allows him to give extra damage percent of the element that he swirls. Adding the Viridescent debuff and Kazuha's passive together makes a large increase in damage for your team. Something I also really want to bring up is how much damage Kazuha does, even with the support build. Because you're most likely going to build him into EM, his swirl damage is going to be pretty high, and it'll only increase further if you level him up more, because it's a transformative reaction, and it scales with character level. I'm not too sure if this is still in the game or not, but it's either a bug or a mechanic that allows more swirl reactions to occur than intended. For some reason, if there are more than one enemy that gets swirled, you get more than the intended amount of swirls. I believe it's supposed to be one swirl per enemy. I just said swirl a lot, I know. If anyone could let me know how this works, or explain why, feel free to let me know. But either way, Kazuha's own personal damage is actually really good while being a support, and the reason why you at least want to build a little bit into energy recharge is having Kazuha's burst on cooldown is really important because it does most of his damage. The elemental infusion and the swirl damage is the main reason why leveling up his burst should be a priority. I haven't even mentioned how good Kazuha's crowd control is. His skill just pulls all nearby enemies towards him, which is a lot more convenient than needing to aim with someone, say, like Sucrose or Venti. So why do I think Kazuha is a better Viridescent user compared to someone like Sucrose? And for context, assuming Kazuha is C0 and Sucrose is C6, Sucrose's EM buff actually provides more overall damage to reactions than Kazuha. However, just because Sucrose's EM buff provides a larger boost to reaction damage, it doesn't make her more valuable. Don't get me wrong, EM is a very good stat, but there are some teams where EM doesn't necessarily matter all too much. Take freeze teams for example, the only thing EM is going to boost is the amount of shatter damage. Kazuha also has access to a technique that makes him much more efficient than Sucrose, and it's called Double Swirl. The name pretty much explains itself. You swirl two different elements with Kazuha, then you will get the damage percent and the resistance shred of both elements. It's very easy to do this with both Kazuha and Sucrose when multiple enemies are present, since you can apply a different element to each enemy. However, when it comes to a single target, things get a little bit different. I won't go into detail about how exactly to do it, but let's just say it's a little more efficient with Kazuha than it is with Sucrose, especially with Bennett Burst being able to apply Pyro to the party member standing inside of the burst, which is very convenient for, let's say, vaporized teams. So why exactly does this make him so broken compared to almost every other support? Well, Kazuha pretty much does everything a team could ask for. Damage boost, resistance shred, crowd control, good damage, and in my opinion, one of the most fun playstyles in the game. A single character offers this all by himself. And the best part is that he works in pretty much every meta team you can imagine. Vaporize, Melt, Freeze, Taser, Aggravate, and even Hyper Bloom. Whatever team you bring Kazuha into, he brings so much value. He may not be the best option for every team I mentioned, but he's very damn good. I haven't even mentioned how easy he is to build. All you gotta do is build into EM and maybe a few crit stats and energy recharge here and there. He's so good that I'm planning to get his very broken C2, which I am planning to pull on stream by the way, if you guys want to come check it out. So yeah, thank you for watching guys. Remember to sub and like if you enjoyed. It would really mean a lot, and it would help the algorithm know that this channel exists. Have a good night and day wherever you're at, and I'll see you all next time. Peace and take care guys. Have a good one.